Hey everybody! Today we're going to do some washes, watercolor washes. For supplies I have Strathmore watercolor cards, and it's 140-pound watercolor cold press paper, and my watercolors that are already set up and mixed up in my palette that my aunt got for me. I have 3 different brushes. I have a number 12 really thirsty round brush. I have a 3/4 inch Princeton Elite watercolor wash brush, and it's flat. It's a square flat brush. And then I have my Princeton number 8 round. It's a white Taklon synthetic. So now we're going to get started. And the first thing we want to do is a wet on wet brush or wash. So I'm going to take some water and I'm just going to wet the paper. And until it gets shiny. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm going to try to hold it to the point where you can see where it's glossy. Catches the light there. And then I am just going to get some color and drip it in. And it makes a lovely background, and it's great for landscapes. And oh yeah, that looks really nice. So that's the first technique, wet on wet, and you just let that dry and it will dry really nice. The second wash we have is a controlled wash. Now I'm going to do that with my Princeton round. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bead of color. Now you want to have your watercolors mixed up prior to, and you want to make sure that you have plenty. So that's why I pre-mixed my colors. So this time I'm going to do red. What color is that? I think it's alizarin crimson. Nope, it's quinacridone violet. Quinacridone violet. So we start off by getting our color, and it's quite watery, and I'm going to start by drawing a line up here, and then I'm going to fill that line with color as much as it'll hold. Okay, and then I'm going to, let me zoom in, and then I'm going to bring it down and as long as I see a bead of color there, I'm going to just keep bringing it down. Now I see that that's kind of it's kind of running out of color, so I'm going to load it up again, and then I'm just going to continue. And you'll get a nice flat wash with no streaks. Put a little bit more in there, and it shouldn't drip down as long as you don't have too much. You kind of go on top of that. I'm going to load it up again. That's why you need plenty of color mixed up. Prior to starting it. And you just have to gauge how big your paper is. Add some more. And you can get a good wash all the way down. That's nice and even. Now I'm gonna just keep going until I'm to the bottom. Oh yeah, that turned out nice. Okay. So that is what is a controlled wash. Now if you have any at the bottom here, which I have a little bit, then I'm going to go in with my brush and just soak that up. Dry my brush off, soak it up. Otherwise, when it dries, it'll leave a blossom in there. But this should dry all nice and flat. And you can see our, now we'll go back to this because, you know, this, you can kind of see here where this is kind of running back into this wash, and it's kind of creating a funky edge there. So if I didn't want that, I'd just go in there and soak up that extra water that's there with a brush, and then that would dry evenly. So, all right. So our next wash is a gradient wash. So we're going to go back and use this blue. This is in Danthrone Blue. And we're going to start that just like we did our controlled wash with a line of color. Make sure that I'm in focus there. And we're going to come down with it. And we're going to pull it down. Okay. And as we come down, instead of filling it with color, we're going to fill it with water. And that will make it that will lighten that pigment. And you'll get a gradual lightening of the color. I'm going to pull that up a little bit and add some more clean water and pull it down. Yeah, and now, yeah, you see it goes from dark to light. So that's nice. That's nice for skies and landscapes. And if there's any at the bottom, just take your thirsty brush, dry it off, and soak up that water so it doesn't. And you can also do this with a different color as well. You know, instead of adding water to it, you could add yellow to it, and it would make, you know, start maybe a green color and come down. So that's a cool effect too. Now this next one we'll do is called a drip technique, and we're going to do it similar to the wet on wet. And we're going to wet our paper. Got a little paint on there, that's alright. We're going to wet our paper until it's shiny. And let's tip that to the light so you can see the gloss and shine on there. And then I'm going to take colors directly from my palette because I want more intensity. So I'm going to take maybe, let's see, what colors can we use? Let's use ultramarine, and we're going to go straight from the palette, and then maybe some yellow ochre, this is nice for a background, and some, oh, maybe some I don't know. This is Opera Rose. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that might make nice flowers. And you can do this all day long with different colors. And you can let that dry and do its own thing. And just experiment with different colors, you know, because you could use, you know, I could see where you could use green down here in this effect and drip some green in there and blue up at the top, and then some pink or red in the center for some flowers. You know, just all different kinds of techniques. Or you can do some different colors of blues and then do an abstract. You know, you can, there's all kinds of things you can do with this drip technique. I'll put some of this indanthrone blue in there. This is just really an enjoyable way to enjoy your watercolors and the way they work. So that's it. That's all there is for this thing. But you know, this is just a really cool way to experiment with your watercolors. And I'm just finishing this drip technique out. Oh, yeah, that is so pretty. You could add some, let's see, what do I have here? Maybe some, this is Prussian blue. And if you see any blossoms, you can let them take effect if you want. And if you don't want, then you can take your thirsty brush and drink them up. Otherwise, when they dry, they will go into backgrounds. I love to do this technique for backgrounds, and I love to do them for abstracts. So just play with your colors. See what they'll do when they blend on the paper. So okay, so that's some flat washes, or some different types of washes you can do for your watercolor. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.